On a single night in 1501, inside the Vatican, the holiest palace on earth, a bride learned she no longer belonged to herself. Her father was the Pope. Her husband was a political hostage. And the wedding night was never meant to be private. This isn't rumor. This isn't legend. It was written down by a man who watched it happen. The setting. Rome glittered that evening. Torches burned along marble corridors. Music echoed beneath painted ceilings. Cardinals laughed, wine flowed, and the city's elite celebrated what was supposed to be a sacred union. Lucrezia Borgia, barely into adulthood, sat at the center of it all. To her right, her new husband, Alfonso d'Este, heir to Ferrara. To her left, her father, Pope Alexander VI, the most powerful man in Christendom. That seating was no accident. It was a message. Power on display. Alexander VI did not rule like other popes. He ruled like a monarch, and like a father who understood that marriage was currency. Lucrezia was not just his daughter. She was a treaty. A bridge between dynasties. A body signed over to politics. And this wedding was never about love. It was about ownership. The turning point. After the feast, Alexander stood and made an announcement. The celebration would continue. Not in the bridal chambers. Not in Lucrezia's private rooms. But in his chambers. 50 powerful men followed. Johannes Burchard, the Vatican's master of ceremonies, wrote down what came next, because even he seemed to understand that silence would one day be questioned. The chamber. The room had been prepared hours earlier. Candles flickered against stone walls. The floor was scattered with chestnuts, deliberately placed, like props on a stage. Women were brought in. Not guests. Not equals. Performers. They were ordered to crawl across the floor, collecting chestnuts with their mouths, while powerful men laughed, judged, and rewarded them. This was entertainment. Inside the Vatican. Lucrezia. Lucrezia did not leave. She did not protest. She sat, perfectly still. Her face revealed nothing. Because daughters of power were trained early. Endure, observe, survive. Her wedding night was unfolding before her, not as intimacy, but as spectacle. Sacred vows collapsed into public degradation. Alfonso. Alfonso watched too. A groom stripped of authority before his marriage had even begun. Every laugh in the room reminded him of the truth. This union did not elevate him. It tested him. And failing that test, showing anger, disgust, resistance, would have consequences. So he remained seated. Silent. The real purpose. This was not indulgence. It was theater. Alexander VI was demonstrating something unmistakable. Nothing in this marriage, not the bride, not the groom, not even the sanctity of the church, existed beyond his control. This was power, performed. The record. What makes this night unbearable is not just what happened, but that we know it happened. Because Johannes Burchard wrote it down. A man who served the papacy faithfully, and still felt compelled to record what he saw. His diary survived. The shame did not disappear. The aftermath. Lucrezia would live on. She would rule, negotiate, and be remembered as intelligent and capable. But this night stayed with her. A reminder that even the most privileged women of history were often denied the most basic dignity, privacy over their own bodies. Closing, modern parallel. What happened in 1501 wasn't an anomaly. It was a system. One that rewarded silence, punished resistance, and disguised control as tradition. The costumes have changed. The rooms look different. But power still tests how much humiliation it can display, and still be obeyed. And history remembers. Not because it wants to, but because it must.